Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about Snowflake account setup and user setup. We'll go in detail. So, Snowflake account and user setup. What is Snowflake account? A Snowflake account is a personal workspace in the cloud. So you are going to create your own personal workspace in the cloud. It stores your data, users, and warehouses. So whatever the data you are going to get as a source, those source data will be stored in the Snowflake data warehouse, and we will be creating our users. And we whatever the default warehouses has been provisioned in the Snowflake, that one we will be using that. So how can I sign up for the Snowflake account? There is a one possibility using this trial account, which is free for 30 days. We can go for that. Using this trial account, you can create your Snowflake account. You can create some users. You can create some roles, grant some privileges. You can create your database. You can create your schema, tables, and you can query your database. So this is the trial account, which is active only for 30 days. In the meantime, whatever the queries you are going to develop in this worksheet, you have to save it separately so that before 30 days, we should be able to have the backup of the query, whatever we are going to do work on it. So that after 30 days, the account will be deactivated so that we won't be in a position to access those data. And the last one is enterprise or organization account, which is already a paid account. So for that, we have to pay some minimum amount so that we will be enabled with the enterprise and organization account. Creating Snowflake account. Please visit this website, signup.snowflake.com. Select your cloud provider. It can be AWS or Azure Data Factory or Google Cloud Platform. You have to choose the region. Mostly, I would suggest Mumbai specific or Singapore. That's a region usually you can prefer because it matches the time zone of India. So fill in name. You have to give your email, your name and your company details. And finally, confirm the email and login details. So it will send you an email for the activation of the Snowflake. Once the activation is done, they will be providing you the another link for the Snowflake to log in. Snowflake web interface, which is SnowSite. Using this, Snowflake is provisioning us to work in the Snowflake worksheet. There are 2 to 3 ways we can access the Snowflake. One is through the Snowflake UI, web user interface. Another one is SnowSite worksheet, and another one is using the Snow SQL, which is a command line interface. In this, you will be creating the database where you can store your data. You will be having the warehouses default, which is provided by the Snowflake itself, that is compute underscore warehouse. Using this, you are going to handle the queries. You are going to compute the queries, and worksheets is the place, is the area where you are going to run your SQL commands. And finally, in the history, you are going to see the query logs, like whatever the query you have executed so far, and all the things you will be viewing in the history. This is about the Snowflake web interface, SnowSite worksheet. So very interesting part of the Snowflake. Understanding the roles and users. A user is nothing but a person with the login access. For example, I am a user with the login access with the role of account admin. I'll be enabled with the compute underscore warehouse. My name is Ambika. I'm going to provide with a default defines permission what a user can do. What is a role? It is going to give us a define the permissions for my username. What a user can do. What are the objects he can access in the Snowflake? What are the common roles? Sysadmin that creates and manages the Snowflake objects. Account admin has a full control and public has the basic access. So a user is a person who always log into the Snowflake. He must be assigned with a particular role so that he must be in a position to access some of the objects of the Snowflake. Common roles are sysadmin. This role is helping us to create the Snowflake objects. And using the account admin, you will be having the full control of the Snowflake objects. With the public, you'll be having the basic access to access the Snowflake. How to create the users using the SQL way. This is the SQL query in Snowflake. How to create the user. Create is a keyword. User is the keyword. Student underscore user is a user, the name, custom name what we are going to give. And password is equal to, you have to provide some password. Default row is system admin. Must change password is equal to true. So create user with password, default role, and must change password. These are the columns you have to provide the value to create this user. So for these parameters, you have to provide some values. Along with all these parameters, Snowflake will allow us to create a user. Grant role, system admin to user, student user. Now, after creating this user, I'm going to grant the role sysadmin to this user, student underscore user. So whenever where the user has been created via the Snowflake UI, it is always to provide them some role so that they can do some basic operations or they can create some Snowflake objects. So first step is create a new user, assigns a default role and force the password change on the first login. Whenever they are going to log in for the first time, they must be forced to change the password so that they will overcome with the Snowflake default password. Managing users and roles. Go to admin and access the users and roles. Create users via UI form. Assign or revoke roles very easily. Use strong password. Give minimum required permissions. Use roles instead of direct grants. So first you have to go to the admin page of the Snowflake and just try to access the users and roles options from the screen. You can create the users via the UI form as well. Not only it is always supposed to create the users using the SQL command, you can also do that using the UI form. You can assign the roles to the user as well as when the job is done, you can always revoke back the roles from the user. You have to use the strong password so that no one can guess your password. You have to give the minimum required permission for your user so that they must be in a position to do some operations in the Snowflake. Use roles instead of the direct grants. Better always directly try to use the roles in the web page instead of always providing the grants for it. Go to your Snowflake worksheet, uh, choose the role, account admin or public or sysadmin, then select the values, then select the database and the schema, whatever you have created so far. Summary. So this is all about the how to create a Snowflake trial account, which is active only for 30 days, how to log in into the Snowsite web interface, how to understand the user and roles, and how to create and manage the users via the SQL and UI, and how to practice with the different roles for better understanding. So uh, please provision your fingers so that you should be good with the command of creating the user and roles in the Snowflake, and how to create and manage the users via SQL commands as well as through the UI form, and try to create different roles, try to assign to your user and try to check like what are the permissions they have and what are the objects they can create, which is what are the permissions or roles it is restricting the users from doing that particular action. So you should find out with that particular role, what is the user is able to do some operations and what are the things he is not able to do. So those things you can observe only by granting the different roles to the particular user. I hope you enjoy the session. If you have any queries, please share your queries in the below link, as well as if you want any upgraded content also, please let me know. Please share your queries in the below link. Thank you all.